Alright, so this time I'll be trying to draw Mashai. Her favorite color is a shade of white, specifically ivory white. If she was a human who grew up on Earth, her favorite food would be waffles. She is 114 years old. She is 6'3". She is the first agent we see in the story. A Seitan agent is someone who takes on missions that further Seitan's goals. To do this, they are given Zir stones that are surgically implanted in their bodies and gives each person a unique reality warping ability. To become an agent, to become an agent, a person has to pass 9 exams. To become an agent, a person has to pass 9 exams. One in technology, another in. Oh, wait, one to become an agent. For a person to become an agent, they have to pass 9 exams. One in technology, another in science, another in Seitan's culture, another in Seitan's laws, another in diplomacy, another in Seitan's religion, one in medicine, one in military, and one in agriculture. As stated in Chapter 3, agents also have to be literally perfect in everything they do. They can't really be seen making mistakes in pretty much anything. Mashai also has a fondness for collecting things. One of the things she likes to collect is a certain type of people, Quiga being one of those types, and we'll get into more about that kind of people later on in the story. But yeah, she does have a collection of individuals that she keeps as pets on her property. She also likes to collect other things such as clothes, antiques, abstract art, coins, and she has 3 greenhouses of different plants from all over the planet. She struggles with claustrophobia and has a dislike of cute things, and not only because she's allergic to most of them. Since only a select few have the ability to become agents, most of them end up having the same personalities types. They hate incompetence, they don't really have much patience for it, and they don't tolerate any kind of disrespect to them. Since what they had to go through to get to where they are, it took a huge amount of effort, not just to get, but also to maintain. It takes a daily effort. Now, the reward for being an agent means you get a lot of perks and privileges. You get to live some of the best life possible on the planet, and your life isn't as heavily monitored or regulated as the average citizen. As was hinted earlier, life for the average citizen is highly controlled and observed. They don't really get much right or freedoms. They have places they can go after work and do stuff, but that's only in the confines of the cities they live in. They have to get like special permission to go anywhere else, even on vacation. But agents get to bypass all this stuff. Agents are also pretty much famous. They're known throughout the world, and so they enjoy a lot of fame and notoriety and prestige. Agents are required to take on proteges that they pick from a pool of candidates. Mashai chose Adono, and the agent is responsible for the successes and failures of their protege. The success rate for becoming an agent is extremely low. Only about 25% of those who attempt to become one actually make it. Now that Arano has lost his mentor and has an ongoing ryokon, he will have to conclude that. He'll also have to start from the beginning and get a new mentor if he ever wants to try to become a full agent. Mashai's mentor is a guy named Abadedo, and he's still in active service. And the main reason he chose Mashai was because he found her attractive and he came on to her, and she did not say no. Before Zir stones came up, agents were just going to be highly skilled people. And Mashai, her whole shtick was going to be she made her own weapons out of her clothing. Her dress was going to have a razor sharp edge to it, which we see her use in the chapter when she cuts Quiga's face with it. Her boots were also going to shoot like some kind of missiles or some kind of projectiles out of the heel. Her vest was going to render her invisible, but only momentarily, and could only be worked once. It would have burned out after that. Originally, her bracelets would like split apart, and she'd like throw them like frisbees but were with sharp edges on them. And that was basically it. And I knew that wouldn't be good enough, and that's what helped me come up with the creation of the Zir stone. So now every agent has their own unique power. As stated in the chapter, Mashai's ability is that she can freely control anything that's very close to her, basically touching her. So her clothes, she can do anything she wants with them. and if she wants to affect anything she's touching but that isn't wearing, like when she's standing on the cage, she has to like get down, do that thing where she gets down on her knees and puts her hands against it, and she has to really focus and think. And she's not really able to move while she's doing that, but she can exert her influence over that, like the cage or the ship when she affected those things. At the end, she creates that giant monster by putting her blood on it. That was like a piece of herself, so she's able to create a link to her to that material. And of course, doing that, she like kind of overexerted, kind of abused her power, and it had a really bad effect on her body. Kind of really damaged her brain and her organs. And right now, it's very unclear if she'll ever be seen again. Mashai is this character's original name, but there was a time when I didn't like that name, and I changed it to something I later realized was much worse. That being Moga. That's right. For a while, I called this character Moga. And at the last minute, I changed it back to Mashai because I don't know what I was thinking back then. Whenever I create a character, their names usually just come along with them, and I rarely ever change their original names. I want to explain the spikes that she creates out of her hair clips, and give you all a better idea what that looks like. They're just these thin, like straw-like bits of metal that come off the clips of her head. They're spiked at the tip. They just like stabbed into Vane and pushed him away, just to give you a good idea what that would have looked like. And here I am trying to show you how Mashai manipulated her bracelet to turn into a set of jaws that jumped off her wrist and bit down on Vane's. It returned to normal after he pulled away from her, but once it left her arm, it was going to change back to normal in a couple of seconds. And for this back drawing of her, I decided to do it in a pose just for the practice of it. I like to think I'm getting a bit better, maybe? Where Vane found it terrifying to be all up high during the events in Chapter 3, Quigo didn't really mind fighting, because she saw fighting Mashai as experience for what she hopes to achieve in life. But Mashai wasn't really bothered by it since she was born in a mountainous area and she's used to heights. And here's my feeble attempt to draw the hair accessory that Mashai has on her head. It starts with that one ring around the base of the ponytail, then there's a bar that goes over her scalp with chains that lead to different rings that hold the clumps of her hair together. On each of those rings is another like bar with some arches on it that the hair will wrap around each arch, and some strands will go around the bar to fully cover it. She manipulates the metal of those things to move her hair into that position. She does get made fun of by her peers for her strange hairstyle, but she doesn't mind as she thinks it makes her stand out, and that's what she likes about it. Also, she wears this on her head because with it touching her scalp or her body, she's able to manipulate the metal and use it for various things like we saw in the chapter. Alright, here I am attempting to draw what the ring, each of those 6 rings have on them. The bar, the arches and the loops, showing her hair wrapping around them. That's the best I can do at this time. Sorry. I also want to show you what that blade she has hidden in her ponytail looks like. It's completely surrounded by her hair, so you can't see it just by looking at her. You just get a glimpse of it when she swings whips her ponytail around, and it kind of comes out. I intended for her to use it more often, but I couldn't find any other opportunities. She just uses it that one time when she swings it at Tefano. Now here's a bonus drawing of one of the cages that Titan uses to gather the people in. Just wanted to give you an idea what that looks like. Here's the door on the side, right there. Those are the rungs of the ladder that they were grabbing onto when they were jumping from each one of these to the other. That's the Titan symbol right there. Not drawn very well, sorry. That's the window that Vane would look down on the people inside, and these are little engines on the side that would propel the containers up into the sky. And lastly, I just want to give you an idea of what the giant monster Mashai creates at the end looks like. It's 150 feet tall. She didn't really have time to think of anything really creative, so it's just something really simple. I can't draw any like details or anything like that into this. I don't really know how to do that. But it's basically just this simple shape here, kind of like the graboids from Tremors 2. And that should do it for this video. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen.